podcast Dark Angel's Journey. I'm Shakira. Oh man, I am tired, y'all. But I've been spending a lot of time doing ICT vids. I finished the 2022 mentorship stuff and I've started the core content. So I'm up to the institutional order blocks stuff, order flow, all that fun stuff. So I didn't really get much of a chance to do much today. Work's been a little busy, but it's back testing time. All right. So I figure we can take a look at the S&P mini today and then ETH and see what we could have done. All right, let's see. Also, my first day back working out, so I'm like, run down. Really run down. Anyway, enough of that. If that sounds like a good time, let's hit the like button, let's hit the subscribe button, and let's drop a comment. Let me know how things are going with you and your trading in your journey. I feel like I'm coming up on a crossroads of awesomeness, and I'm here for it. All right, guys, let's get ready to rumble as I make myself tiny. I do like this tiny thing. All right, so we are looking at the E-mini S&P 500. So I'm just, thinking about directional bias at this point, right? So the monthly kind of tells me where we're at, right? So um this green candle kind of started this actually I don't care about that one as much, right? Let's go to the weekly because we're kind of tightly packed right here, right? All right, that's a little better. Okay, so we've obviously been in a bit of a downtrend this whole time, and I'm learning that these institutional order flows are like water. Like, look at this one. Like, this green candle is the last green candle before price just kind of fell down, right? And I'm finding that this tiny wick, look how well they respected it, right? They came, they tapped it, they dropped. They came, they tapped it, they dropped. So these areas are the spots that we kind of need to pay attention to on the higher time frame so that when price comes back to them, we could be seesawing in between. Like we're here, we go down. We come like if we come back down to the the base of this candle, this red candle before price kind of went up, and it's okay if it drops even lower than this, but we got into the general vicinity and then price came back up. Um, so I'm going to be looking for things like this to kind of help frame my thoughts for the day, right? So on the Nasdaq earlier, oh, it was the futures. Okay, I was on the futures earlier, and I had a number of thoughts on where price was going to go, and it was all predicated on, and this is earlier in the day, right? So since this is clean, let's use that, right? So on the daily, right? On the daily, and I will turn on my imbalance finder because it just helps. On the daily, I had this area here marked out as, an area where I thought they were going to go up into and eat that liquidity up, right? Let's mark it out as an imbalance. Actually, sorry about that. Let's put this to the top, right? So I was expecting them to come back up into this space, but I was also expecting them to potentially, respect this bearish order block right here on the daily, right? So I had this guy marked out. Oops, had him perfect. There you go. As like an institutional space between, I used the body, but then the base was probably where I really put it, right? But let's use the body, right? For the moment, and this little area right here. So then this in my mind would be like the bearish, I can't type, y'all. Bearish institutional haha, order block, right? So I was expecting price to come up into this area and then give me reasons to come back down, to drop. Prior to that happening, of course, and let's go into the 4-hour. All right. So prior to that happening, and I'm just looking at, so this is Monday, right? Monday. Okay, Monday, right? Let's go into the 15-minute and just take a look at it, right? Because it's the 9th. Looking for midnight. So midnight was here. And just for funsies, I'm just gonna grab something like this. Actually, I'll use this guy. Let's do this. All right, so midnight. It's about this, the open of this candle right here. So let's call that so the midnight open. And let's set this to the bottom right. And let's reduce the thickness because we've got time for that. And let's make it a different color. And let's make it orange. Okay. So midnight. And then price traded away and made this low at about 3 a.m. So if I remember correctly, like, what is this, London? 3 to 5 or something? Kill zone. But anyway, midnight happened, it traded away from it. So I'm looking for some sort of Judah swing to tell me what's happening. So at 9:30, it's the first trading day break, right? So at 9:30, and I'm gonna just grab that time frame. It's 9:15. Okay. So 9:30. And let's just call that 9:30. Open. And let's put that there. Okay. So at 9:30, we got this very mean swing, right? And let's drag the replay back because I'm looking for reactions, right? So far at midnight we've dropped. 8:30 came. 8:30 came, and what did we do? We opened, we dropped a bit, right? So these two things almost make me feel like, it's reaffirming my desire for price to go up higher because as I'm looking at the daily candle, right, I am expecting it from an institutional order block perspective, because look at the structure. I'm expecting it to come back and hit this thing, right? So I'm at least at minimum expecting it to come to rally up to this area right here. So I'm looking for highs, and we've been consolidating, so it's time for some sort of expansion, right? And we already got this green candle on Friday, which gave us a pretty bullish feel. At least it gave me a pretty bullish feel. And then it did rally up. So now if we go down into like the 1 minute, come on, we stuck. It's stuck. Stuck. All right. Do we get it? Yes. Okay, perfect. So now, what time is it? 9:37. Perfect. So at the 9 o'clock, 9:30 opening, right? We had this Judas, we had this, right? So in my mind now, if we're continuing on up, then I'm waiting for price to break this structure, right? So let's see. All right, we've come up to it. And things that aren't nice, like this relatively equal highs, we wanted them to take care of that. These lows right here, they went and hunted them, relatively equal. They took them out, and now we're coming up. So let's do that. Okay, so now we get our break right here. And again, my target is up here. approximately. So I'm looking for a reason to go long at this point, right? So let's do this. So if we have a break right here, then I need it to be, and sometimes I wonder, right? Like, am I being a bit, presumptuous with the break? Because this could have been it as well, right? Price did pause here and it broke above it quite spectacularly. And then it made these two very energetic and made these two imbalances, right? So then I should, if I'm thinking clearly, I should be looking for a long in this general vicinity, right? And we have what would potentially here be considered a bullish order block forming right there, right? So maybe we've got this imbalance, bullish order block. I should be looking for an entry at the close of that candle. And then I could be aiming for this thing up here. Okay. And put my stop loss below this thing. So how many pips is that? It's like 15 ticks, 86 ticks. And my broker's not connected on this one. I believe it's like 1225 or something a tick, according to, 1250. Sorry about that. 1250, according to TradeStation, 1250. All right. So the question is, do we get the entry? Up, coming back down. Yes. Okay. Beautiful. So we're in. And now let's let it play out. Let them paint. Now the daily bias is what's swaying me towards a long today. And then this change in structure. And I think this is where I should have, you know what? I'm just for funsies. What would not that. One of my faves for the fractal break. So it has it up here where I originally put it. I was just curious to see where it would pop up. So now we're in this, and it's, if we pop back out to the 15-minute, right, we've got, yep, and then this imbalance right here at 39.63 to play with, and I'm looking for this order block, so it should be a few pips above it, right? So let's go back to our 1 minute and just let it paint out. And see. Okay. And it presents other opportunities to go long too while it's heading up, right? So second opportunity is at this. We've got these two order blocks right here. Like if we wanted to try and make like a smaller entry, let's say I open up two contracts here and I want to put one more right here. Let's say let's try for the body and put it below that. And then we'll continue on up again. I don't know if we get that, but let's see. So looks like that's a no. Oh, okay, yeah. Did I get stopped out on that entry? So we're back up. We're back up. All right. Oof, that's uncomfortable. Oof, on the second one, right? That stop loss is a little tight, but look how well they're respecting that short-term high right there. And they're actually respecting this intermediary high, right? So, in terms of moving stop losses, right? I would be, let me grab this. So for this first entry, I would have moved my stop loss to here. And let's set that to stop loss, right? And then this one, so they're both sitting here. So, right, doing well. I'm looking for that. And let's continue on. Okay. Let's see, look for some other structure. And voila. Nice. I like the way the S&P runs. Like it respects things. Like the movement, I think today, and I actually haven't checked Ethereum yet, so let me do that. But that was nice, right? So we just came into this order block. Now, once it does that, and let's go out to the 15-minute, right? So once it taps that, I don't know why it's looking like that. So once it taps that, I'm waiting for it to give me a reason to go short because, this is a daily bearish order block, right? Right. So I'm just gonna wait for it to paint some more and, so now I'm gonna be looking for this, right? I want it to come up, back down, maybe eat some liquidity and then start dropping, and then I can look for, when it gets this break right there, then in this area of displacement, then I can find myself an entry to go short, right? Something like that. In a nice juicy spot, something like that. And then I'd be targeting um, all of this down here, the midnight open, a little bit of that. There's an imbalance down here. So I could be like going nuts. I'm going to be conservative and just go for that. I might even just aim, from that, just aim for these relatively, they're not quite equal, but, areas where stops are sitting here, here. That's basically what I would be aiming for. Stops under here, stops under here, stops under here. Right. And then take partials, right? Let's say I go with 3 contracts or something, and I take, when I get to here, I take like 2 off under here, 1 off, and I take 1 off here, and then take another 1 off here, and then we're done. Something like that. So let's take that off. Okay, let's see. Do we get that? So, gone above it. Got to be patient now. We need to make some sort of structure. All right, so this is what we're looking for. Let's see. So we have a nice, I'm gonna wait for this break right here. I want that to break. I want a nice juicy break. So there's a break right there. Let's use this, plot that, and maybe we'll get a run. Entries would be this order block here, tiny imbalance. So I'd be looking for a short entry at the base of that with my stop just above that guy and, aiming for like say 1 to 5. Let's do 1 to 5. Just that. Boom, 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 done. Okay, let's see. How does that play? So we get the good break. Now we have this new order block. I know it's not perfectly drawn. I'm sorry. We're coming up. So the potential for an entry is about here or here, maybe. Let's see. And we might, oh, I'm on the 5 minute. Sorry, guys. What am I doing? It's not what I needed. Let's zoom in. My bad. I was on the 5 minute. Oh, the 5 minute could have given us the same entry, but I'm finding I like the 1 minute for that. So this happened. We had the stop run, this break right here. If we've been watching it closely, that's the one we were looking for, right? That means that right around this candle right here would be our order block, right? Or supply order block for an entry. And look how beautifully it came to it, right? So then I would be entering at the base of that with my stop loss right tight right there, or tightish, whatever, right above that. And then again, aiming for something like that. How many pips is that? It's 98 pips, right? Not bad. Not bad. We have this imbalance down here. This is the 930 open. So I don't know. I think as a beginner, I would have just aimed for this imbalance, and that would have been like 73 pips and ticks or whatever, and that would have worked beautifully, right? Because what do we have? We have liquidity taken, and it came. We had these relatively equal um, highs here. So I expect they're gonna come back and get that at some point. And then I was also thinking about these relatively equal lows down here. That's a definite draw, right? And as things to aim for. And there's stop losses, there's sell stops below here. So that would have been a good one too, along with that. And let's see about potential re-entries, because once you're in it, you can like get back in again, right? So here we have another shift, and we have 1, 2, 3 order blocks. Generally pick the one in the middle. That's what I'm learning from ICT. Boom. And then set my stop loss above that thing right there. And then continue on down. And maybe I aim for, yeah, that's good. So now I have two things in the game, right? Do I get other opportunities for an entry? Like this one, we had the break. They never really came back up to it. Nope. Okay. So let's continue. Let's see. This break, let's see. We had this break right here. And it's a good question about which one of these, right? So this guy. So, if we use this green candle right here for an entry, let's say we're crazy. I'm trying to let's use the body for a change, because I don't know. I feel like the wick's where it's at for some of these, and then set it up here. And then this one I would aim, let's aim for this imbalance down here, right? Let's see. So we're coming back down. Let's aim for all of that. So let's see. And in terms of stop losses, right, I would be, just moving them quite liberally. So once we made this new structure, dropped, my stop loss would be right about here for everything. All right. And then came in, got the entry, and we're thinking. All right. Good reason to move my stop loss lower down now for everybody. Everybody's stop loss down. Next potential area for them to come back into, if you want to come back in for an entry, like this one's done though. These two are done. Like that's good. That's good. This third one is where we're at. So we're got skin in the game. This guy, we're looking nice, looking juicy. Where can it come back? Probably into this break. There's the order block right there. So potential area for them to come back and terrorize us, somewhere around there maybe. Let's see. Okay, looks like they're not gonna. All right, and we're out. Actually, not bad, right? Not bad. And most of this is honestly, the daily institutional order block stuff is bomb. Like understanding where they're gonna be going for the day is really where it's at, right? Because let me hide all that. Because look at that, right? They had this and this, and they dug quite juicily into it, right? And they came into this order block beautifully, and then decided to come back down and drop. Fascinating. They also this guy had all the liquidity. There's some more here, and I mean, if we're looking at the way this is flowing, right? We consolidated for the most part, then dropped, consolidated again, and we had to move. We need to rebalance stuff for it to do any kind of other movement. Fascinating. It really is fascinating. All right, let's take a look at Ethereum. What is Ethereum doing? All right, I haven't looked at this all day, so I don't know what's going on. All right, so on the weekly, from an institutional order block, there's this guy. Yeah, that wick right there. So let's use this little wick right here. I prefer, let's see, did we get to the body? I don't know. Let's down and I might choose to use the daily one instead. Because if it's the wick, then somewhere in between this, we should see some action. Something like that, right? All right, let's go into the daily. So with that in mind and this imbalance up here, we've been hanging out. So then I'm literally expecting, price to come hang out in here and eat some of this. Now, in terms of like daily, like institutional order block for this one's the weekly one, so it should be a lot stronger. Oh, look how interesting. That's a breaker, isn't it? Yeah, 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 yeah. I think it's a breaker. What do you guys think? Is it a breaker? Drop a comment down below. Let me know. But anyway, my bias is bullish for the day because I'm seeing all of this juicy upward momentum. There's a nice thing up here to be eaten. But we do have these equal lows. So sell stops are going to be hanging out under here, down here. So, before they can go down, they got to go back up, right? That's how that works, right? So let's go into the 1 hour. See what that looked like for the day. Okay, so how did the day start off for ETH? Let's do the 30 minutes so I can get my time frame sorted out. And I'm just going to use, I think, the verticals just for funsies. That's the midnight candle right there. And then, what did the 8:30 candle look like? It's right there. Okay, let's go into the 15-minute. So midnight happened, price just kind of hung out around it. Then it rallied up. 8:30 happened, it dropped a smidge, which would technically make me feel like it's continuing up. So let's go see what potential setups there were. All right, so 8:30 happened, price, I don't know, did something. What happened at 9:30? Let's see. 9:30 price rallied up, 8:30 it dropped. Didn't really make any kind of convincing break, right? But it did give us something after 8:30, right? Let's see. Is it much of a move? So I'm gonna go in actually, before I do that, let me hit the replay button because I want to see what we have here. And let's drop it into the 1 minute. Okay. So 8:30 price did something, dropped. Maybe equal lows. Gross. Huh. Where's midnight? And that's far away. So if you look at the one, wow. Okay, so midnight happened and price just kind of was dropping below, coming back up, spiking upwards. Mean. Ugh. I don't know, man. Sometimes I feel like trading crypto is just rough. Anyway, so I'd want to see a break above here to convince me, or break below here to create a new shift. This break occurred and price came here, meandered, dropped. All right, so I'm gonna wait because I want a more convincing. Okay. All right. So now we have, I don't know if I'd call it super really convincing. The other thing we could have done, like when this happened right here and it broke through here, technically we did have long potentials in this space, right? This whole area is like a little order block right there. Bullish. Huh, look at that. Interesting. In which case, from the top of that, we could have put it below that. Then we could have been, what would be, and that's another thing we need to be aware of, is like, what do we aim for? Right? We have this guy, right? So imbalance sitting up there. I'm expecting this thing to be tapped. Oh, we're inside of it. We're inside the institutional order block. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Oh, did it just tap ahead or what? Hmm. Well, looking for some sort of liquidity. There's all of this up here, so let's see if it taps it. I don't know what it did today, so this will be fun. And let me just grab this as my, right now my stop loss is here. So why am I taking this? Liquidity's been hunted down here. We had a shift. It came back down, rallied away from it. So let's see if we got any, if we went anywhere. Okay. All right. So we've moved up. Let me do a little measuring. So once we were 50% to our, so I want to be here. So 50% is about here. So now I get to move my stop loss to a little bit above break even. Yay me. And let's see, what do you do? Okay, we've come back in. This break, this order block right here. Okay, let's see. And now we're being mean to rebalance this guy. Do I get a nice shift? Yes. Okay. Not bad. Secondary. Oh, wow. Look at that, guys. Let's zoom in. Secondary opportunity for an entry. Whoa. Right at the tip of that puppy right there. This bullish order block right here. He set an entry right at the tip of that. It would have been failed and that would have been cleaner. Nice. All right. All right. I see you. And how long would this awfulness have taken? An hour, 11. Okay, I like that. I like an hour or less. Those numbers make me happy. They're beautiful numbers. I am in it to win it. Yes. Okay. All right. So what is so then once it hit, did it ever make it to, well, it made it into the general vicinity of it, and then it sold off. Beautiful. Isn't that amazing? Let's go back to the daily. Learning about these this is the weekly, right? It came to the weekly and sold off. Look at that. Beautiful. So then let's look at it on the 15, right? It came into the vicinity of this weekly bearish order block, did its thing. Let's go on to 5 minutes, see what if we had entries, right? Came, made these equal highs, made a break right here. Did it give us an opportunity to get in? Let's see. Let's go to the 1 minute. Let's come up here. Actually, see, the 1 minute is like liquid gold for some things, right? That's done. Liquidity eaten, liquidity eaten, liquidity eaten. Made another intermediary high here. Then we broke it right there. And then we have this order block. All of this, I think, is a bearish order block as well. So if we'd taken the one in the middle, right there, order wouldn't have been filled. Do we get a second opportunity? Okay. Yes, let's clone that. So we get a second break right here. And this time we have this guy. Would we have been filled on the body, on the wick? Yes, we would have. Beautiful. So I do like looking at like halfway through the imbalance, and we would have sold right off right there. Beautiful. And then in terms of, we have a lot to work for. The sell side under here is probably where I would have been aiming for on that guy. What would that have looked like from a shorting perspective? Because that's what I was expecting. Price to rally up into that space and plop it above there, and then drop it from just below there. Oh my God. No way. Not bad. Do we get a similar scenario forming on these other towers? That broke. Not filled on that one. That broke. That one, we would have gotten the fill on this one here as well to continue down. Okay, not bad. And, looking for like this area of relatively equal, not perfectly equal, but relatively equal lows. Expecting those to be taken out. If it looks too clean, something I'm learning from ICT, it's gonna get taken out. Like, did they come and take out these clean? Remember I mentioned that? I was like, that looks way too clean. Let's plot this across. Did we get it? Not quite. They came down to it. This, like that. Almost tapped it. Huh. They're gonna take it. They're gonna take it out. They just like they took out this relatively equal area here. They tapped it. Ah, look at that. Oh yeah, lots to eat up in the grand scheme of things. This does tend to simplify things. And I had like this thing, but I didn't put my order in with I have the demo account set up with TradeStation. And then I put a different order in for the short here and got stopped out. And then of course it worked like gangbusters afterwards, working, so I couldn't really pay attention to it. But my first short from here got stopped out. It was here, something like that. It got stopped out, and my demo account got taken for $152.40. But the short idea, because it took care of the institutional order block. Like here was the bearish order block from the daily or weekly, I think. It took it, broke above it, did its thing, and then I was waiting for an opportunity to go short. What I should have done was waited for these areas to be taken. This is pretty equal at this point almost, but liquidity taken, opportunity to go short. Next area for potential short from here would have been from this break, this order block. That would have worked beautifully. So patience. I'm not a pro. I'm still at level 2, so I'm still working on my patience. All right, I think that's good for me. I'm gonna see if I highly doubt I'm gonna have time during the week to do these demos like I want to. And maybe I can dip in early in the morning, like at 7 or something, to see if there's any kind of setups that formed. All right, we're already up to 40 minutes. I am fried. I'm gonna go drink some water. Water. But all this ICT stuff I'm learning is amazing. And like today, like I literally, and I didn't trade these obviously, but I set them up before while they were forming. And I was like, oh yeah, I set a limit order here and it didn't get filled. Actually, for down here, and it didn't get filled. And just in case you think I'm crazy, history. So my limit order that that got canceled because it didn't get I canceled it because it didn't get filled, which sucked for me because then that would have started this beautiful run up to this area here. I think adding 10 pips, let me see, 76. Yeah, I would have gotten that easily, like above 1005 or something like above the level, even more, obviously. I mean, come on. And then I saw these equal highs. They came and ate them up. There's all this meanness. But if I got in the order here at this order block, let me take a look. Um, so I should have been aiming for this order block instead of them coming back into here. I was a little slow on the uptick because they did tap it, right? But then I should have been waiting for an entry from this order block with a stop below here. And that would have been beautiful. Then another opportunity for an entry showed itself. I was like thinking to myself, like, yeah, there's this order block at the tip here. We could dip in, come back up. And then of course my short worked like gangbusters, but I got stopped out. And I didn't have time to enter back in. And I was aiming, for oh, and I had this other setup I was thinking about as well. What time was this? 2:25. Like after all this stuff had been eaten, I figured at the tip of this order block right here, it tapped it and dropped beautifully. And then I added 10 ticks to see if I would get that too, and I did. And then I added this one later on. Same scenario, right? Price came back. I was looking at the body of this order, this bearish order block right there. If you draw it across, you see it's attached. It's attached to the body. That worked out like gangbusters, and then voila. Didn't take that demo trade either. I didn't have time for that, but I had enough time to like plop it in there and see if it was gonna work, just for funsies. And then the day ended. Now, here's why this one failed for me. Right here, it was at lunch, and I shouldn't have been doing anything at lunch. I should really map out like the I should do something like this, right? Between 12, like between I'd say like 11:30 or something. So between 11:30 to like 1, something like that. I should just not do anything, right? So I should just ignored all of this action and then waited until this presented itself at like 2:30. I mean, and then taken this short. And then this would have been fine, right? Because I had this imbalance down here I could have been aiming for as well, right? Beautiful. I knew they were going to take that out. Boom. And that would have been 11 ticks and then 135. Not bad. Anyway, I think that's good. I am going to take a moment for myself, I think. These are all for me too. Like, some days I wish I had more time to just focus on it for the day during the time frames and then just execute. At the beginning of the year here, it's a little hard because there's so much to do work-wise. And you gotta pay the bills. Pay the bills first. Do other things later. All right, guys, I am going to go find food. Food is so important. Food in my mouth. Yum, yum. Okay, drop a like, drop a comment. Let me know how you're doing in your journey as well as you're watching me change and grow in my journey. So happy hunting, trade safely, Shakira.